Welcome to this special military analysis program. The NATO military bloc is on the brink of a large-scale war with Russia, with the first shots potentially fired as early as 2026. This is not mere speculation, but a shocking warning issued by German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius. He recently revealed a disturbing truth. Many parts of Europe may have just experienced their last peaceful summer for a long time. The interview initially discussed the Bundeswehr's current state, but the topic quickly shifted to President Vladimir Putin and the war in Ukraine. He added, "But the truth is also this: we must become even faster in everything we do." This response is not an isolated voice. It resonates with numerous statements from officials across Europe and the NATO alliance. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, facing Russia's war machine, has also expressed concern that some alliance members are not acting fast enough. In February, Zelensky gave a frank assessment of Europe's military readiness, stating, "In terms of troop strength, I honestly think that Europe is weak today." He made an alarming comparison. Russia produces in 3 months what NATO produces in a year, rolling out 1.500 tanks, 3.000 armored vehicles, and 200 Iskander missiles this year alone. Rutte concluded, Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. There is no longer East or West, there is just NATO. Unfortunately, the prospect of a Russian invasion in 2030 now seems overly optimistic. Minister Pistorius suggests it could come much sooner. He stated, military experts estimate Russia could attack a NATO member from 2029 onwards. Now, others say as early as 2028. Some believe we already had our last summer of peace. The projected timeline is shortening. Pistorius is not the only high-ranking political figure with this assessment. A key question for the EU and NATO is how to defend the Baltics. Our intelligence services say Putin can be ready to test Article 5 within 2 or 4 years. Kubilius explained that Russia's war economy will continue producing weapons even after a ceasefire, accumulating enough to launch a new aggression. According to him, Putin's most likely targets are the 3 Baltic states, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, making them a potential flashpoint. He stressed that an attack on any of these nations would be an attack against all of NATO and the European Union, who must be ready to respond. Fortunately, many nations are aware of the situation. They are increasing defense spending and taking bold steps to modernize their militaries. Poland is a prime example, leading NATO in defense spending, dedicating up to 4.7% of its GDP to military investment. Germany, Europe's economic powerhouse, is also taking a leading role. Days after the Ukraine invasion, Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced a historic policy shift. He declared Germany would sharply increase defense spending to over 2% of GDP, a threshold Berlin had previously failed to meet. Previously, a pacifist stance had hampered the German military's development. Putin's invasion changed everything. Now, Germany is not only spending more but also making significant structural changes. The Bundeswehr will merge 2 separate command centers into a single unified operational command for faster decision-making. More importantly, the Cyber and Information Department has officially become a full 4th branch, alongside the Army, Navy, and Air Force. In procurement, Germany's Rheinmetall received an €8.5 billion contract for 155mm artillery shells. Berlin is also considering purchasing more main battle tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and helicopters. Recently, a new national military service plan was approved to increase troop numbers. Germany's goal is to build Europe's strongest conventional army by 2029. But with Putin potentially planning an earlier invasion, they may not have 4 years. Despite this, Pistorius remains confident. The Bundeswehr is in a significantly better shape than is sometimes suggested by media reports. "We are on track." Commenting on NATO, he stated, "We shouldn't give the impression that NATO cannot defend itself. It can, it has considerable deterrent potential, but we need to equip them even better." The recurring theme of Pistorius' interview was urgency. He called on defense industry companies to accelerate and expand production. Speed is essential. Even if experts are off by a few years and Russia doesn't attack until 2029, that still leaves very little precious time. Although the Russian army has suffered heavy losses in Ukraine, it has undeniably caused terrible devastation. Even if Russia has little chance of winning a direct conflict with NATO, it can still cause widespread destruction. Relying on long-range missiles and drones, Russia could easily strike targets hundreds of miles away, including major Western European cities. The incident of Russian drones entering Polish airspace shows NATO nations may not be fully prepared for this type of warfare. Clearly, this is an area where Europe needs to improve. and the most valuable lessons come from Ukraine itself. As Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen remarked, the only expert on anti-drone capacities is Ukraine. We need to take all their experience and incorporate it into our own rearmament. Pistorius also stressed the importance of drones, acknowledging future conflicts will be combined arms warfare, integrating artillery, tanks, aircraft, and unmanned systems. He noted the extremely short innovation cycle for this technology. Therefore, Germany's strategy won't be to stockpile drones that could be obsolete tomorrow. Instead, they will pursue new procurement methods, focusing on rapid development and ensuring mass production capability for the latest variants when needed. This is a wise strategy. Drone technology, especially with AI integration, is evolving at breakneck speed, and European nations must keep pace. Asked about his vision for 2030, Pistorius set clear goals: a reserve of over 200,000 soldiers and an active force of up to 220,000. New F-35s and Chinook helicopters will be flying, and the army will be using Leopard 2 A8 and Skyranger systems. A fully deployed German brigade will be stationed in Lithuania on NATO's eastern flank, he added. With experts warning of an invasion as early as next year, nations may need to refocus on immediate priorities before it's too late.